Hello everyone, it's Nikki and this is a Flosstube update which is solely about the smalls and non-full coverage pieces that I've worked on kind of during March and up to now in April. Today is the 18th of April, it's Sunday, it's very sunny and it seems to be a really nice day, so I've been up in my craft room this morning working on my sampler and I've got to a really good point, so I thought I'd go through. I did promise that I would do a Flosstube update just about the small pieces. So if you're looking for the full coverage, come back at the end of the month and I'll do a full coverage update. I've got some good progress there to share with you as well. So we're starting off with, and I did have some notes but now I've put them on the side so I can't really read them properly. Let's move things, there we go. So this is the Light Upon the Lawn from Blackbird's Designs and it's part 2 of the For the Birds series. I started it in February and I finished it on the 18th of March. Now I work on the For the Birds series I'm working on before I start work. So weekday mornings, it gets about half an hour, 45 minutes until I put things away and start working for the day. So this is on 36 count Picture This Plus Ale, which is a called for fabric, and I'm using the called for threads and stitching with one strand. So really love how this one turned out. If I can zoom in a bit. And so down here on these little flowers here, it was meant to be French knots, and I don't get on with French knots, especially not at 7 o'clock in the morning. So instead of the French knots, what I did was zoom in. I did some tiny over one stitches, just a little cross stitch, just where the French knots would be. For me, that's just a lot neater. There are some lazy daisy stitches there. I get on better with those. We're friends, me and lazy daisy. Me and French knots, nah. I know, I need to practice. If you practice, you get better. That's what it's all about, isn't it? But, yay, got it finished. So this one will go away, waiting for the rest of the series to finish. There's 9 pieces in total, and here I am with part 3 in the series, and this one is stitched on 36 count Oaken by Picture This Plus. Started with the alphabet. I like stitching alphabets. And then we did the border, and I've just, on Friday, finished filling in the cat here and started on the outline of the bird. So, I've got it here. This is what it will look like. Again, it's all the called for threads, called for fabric too. I'm doing the entire series as is, and as you can see, I don't have a huge amount left to do on there. I tend to outline, because the bigger birds are outlined, so I do the outlines first and then fill them in. And there's some like little 4-stitch spangly things to be done. I am actually off work now for a week, so I don't know if I'll be stitching on them at all this week. Maybe. I'll see how I feel. Sometimes it's just nice to pick them up and work on them for an hour. And the small pieces are good for that, just when you get those odd moments in time, because there isn't as much to get out as there is for the full coverage pieces. So, I started this on the 19th of March, so the morning after I finished the other one. That's my morning stitching. I also, because I'm working from home at the moment, I can vary my lunchtime stitching. So this is one of the ones I've been working on, still working on Christmas, because I want to get this done. It is repetitive. It can get a little tedious at times. I've worked on it 5 times in a month and a half. I finished this reindeer. I think I filled in the white to use up the thread, and then once that reindeer was done, I've come over and this border down to the corner. I've still got to fill in, got some fluff on it, cats. I've still got to fill in the berries on the holly, as you can see there, and there's another leaf or two to do down here, but we're getting there. I think I would have finished it, except just one lunchtime I just didn't feel like working on it. So I say lunchtime, I kind of get, again, half an hour, 45 minutes on it. Not a huge amount, but it's time to spend stitching, so it's a good time. Also, in my lunch times, one of the other projects I've been working on is Spring Squirrel by the Blue Flower, and I started this a while ago. I've actually worked on this 8 times and getting a little bit further. So I think when I last showed it, I'd done the border with the corner flowers, and this pot took a while to stitch. That was lots of backwards and forwards stitching. I started on the plant. This week I got these leaves in, the central bit, and started one of the first acorns. This one comes off there. I'm looking forward to doing those. They look a lot of fun to stitch. As you can see, yeah, watering can as well. Well, I had the dark colour. Watering can, still got thread on. Ready to pick up again. More stitching. Cat started shouting downstairs. Hopefully he'll stop soon. He's eaten. He's just eaten. He likes to sing after having some food. So, what's next? Mooca. Yeah, I can't remember where I was. Been filling in her dress, working it down, bringing it down the frame, scattering of leaves. Most of these leaves got beads on. That's all holes for beads. That's all holes for beads. Holes for beads everywhere. There's a lot of beads to go in on this. She comes along really slowly. I only worked on her 3 times. I was working on her during the extra breaks during my full coverage pieces, but I stopped doing that because I wanted to work on something else. So she kind of got bumped down the list a bit. So I'll be trying to get some more work done on her. Probably again not going to be picked up at all during the holiday. I think this holiday is mostly going to be about full coverage pieces and getting my sewing machine out. So that is Mooca. Move that out the way, and here we have my sampler that I stitched at the weekend. Jane Cowy from the Scarlet House. So I kind of got the carnation border finished. I think I'd finished that last time. So I started bringing the border down, and then I was working bits of the motifs and doing a line of verse, and then I just decided that I was just going to concentrate on getting that verse in, because it's an essay. It's huge, and it's over 1. And I'm stitching this on 40 count, like Mooca, so I got fabric. So, the instructions say to do the words the letters in half stitch. that was kind of also the recommended fabric was a 46 count. So I did the first lot of half stitch there. I didn't really like the way it turned out. So then I switched over to the full crosses, and it's harder. I'm not going to say it's easy, but I preferred the look of it, and so I thought it was worth it. I don't think I'd do, if it was more full coverage on 40 count, I probably could get away more with the half stitches, because all the other stitches around it would be pulling it all together. But yeah, I just didn't like the way the half stitch was looking. I've left it, I'm not unpicking it, I'm not that crazy. 40 count unpicking? No. That said, if there are any mistakes in this verse, they are staying. If something is counted a bit out and doesn't quite fit, well, the motifs around it are going to get adapted. No one's got time to unpick 40 counts. Surely. No. So, yay, got that done. So now I can enjoy the more fun bits, which is stitching the little pictures. So down here under the wires across the whole thing is a band which I believe is a honeysuckle band, but I'm kind of getting quite down to the bottom of my, that was quite uncomfortable to stitch because I didn't want to squirrel either because laziness. So you see I've got a bird and the crown and the start of this plant here, so I'm going to do those, probably fill in this border on this side, get those done so I can scroll it and work both sides down to the honeysuckle border and then work that all the way across. And once the honeysuckle border is done, we're on the home stretch, which will be the flowers and the little ship. So, getting there. It'll take a while still because I only work on this weekend mornings. But the plan is, once I finish this, I might put Mooca on this stand and get her done, maybe, because I don't want to bead on the Q snaps. And I think the longer she's on the Q snaps, the slower and slower I'm going to stitch on her. I want to kind of get her out on the frame. So we'll see. There'll be another sampler along the... I'm going to start that one. Get started. Poor Mooca gets pushed to the side again. We'll see. Maybe I'll carry on with that. So I'm going to make some project bags during my holiday because I have lots of patterns, small patterns that want to be kitted up and start vying for my attention. I also need to be better about getting away from my desk and doing some stitching at lunch times. So, you know how it is. And also work is extremely stressful at the moment. We're putting in a big project that's going live the day I get back to work. That week's going to be very tiring, I think. So actually sometimes it's really hard to motivate myself to just stop just sitting and wallowing in emotions. Come upstairs and do some sewing and feel better. So I'm going to try and do that as well. Who knows, I may even feel like pulling out some of these during next week. But for now, that is all I have in terms of my smaller pieces. As I said, the full coverage is coming along really well. I made some really good progress on that this month. So I'll be back again in a couple of weeks with just a full coverage update. Bye for now.